Welcome back, you beautiful fucks. It's me, Danny, and my AC is on right now. It's blowing, and I'm not turning it off for the recording because it's too hot for that. So we're just have to live with it. Pretend you can feel the breeze. Anyway, talk about today's video. So we're continuing the Heisei series. All right, we're like in the middle of it, and as you can see by the bird on the screen right there, we're talking about Mechagodzilla 2. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. Can't you tell? Because we're talking about Rodan. It makes sense, right? You follow along. You got it. So, yeah, I figured we start with Rodan, get him/her out of the way. So, before we get into Mechagodzilla, spoiler alert, I don't have any Godzillas from the movie in terms of 93 Godzillas. I learned that. I tried looking up what figures there are for that Godzilla, and all I could find were some statues from Diamond Select. There might have been a few other like statues from X Plus and all that, but there was nothing that I currently have in my collection to represent him, nor do I have any baby Godzillas. So, very tragic. I'm sorry, but that's fine because we're gonna look at this great Rodan figure right here. Look how thick those wings are at the bottom. It's very thick slices of cheese he has going on. I don't know, it's very blocky. This is the most recent Movie Monster Series version of Fire Rodan. That I should also point that out. It's Fire Rodan, not regular Rodan. This one got covered in Diablo sauce from Taco Bell, so it's hot. And there's a tag on the back. It was his wing, and there's just the actual picture of Rodan from the movie. Very nice tag, very colorful. The figure, very colorful as well. My favorite color is red, so I have to give it some biased props because I do like the color. However, in terms of paint job and detail, it kind of falls in comparison to what I'm about to show you right here, which is the original Movie Monster Series. I believe this is the Movie Monster Series. Rodan, Fire Rodan. Let me get it right. Don't want to misidentify. Don't want to confuse the audience. For all I know, someone's watching thinking like, "Oh, I thought that was Destroy All Monsters Rodan." Nope, you're wrong. Imagine being you. Anyway, so this Rodan is smaller, and it's definitely showing its age in some areas, like some of the paint chipping away, and the beak looks a little bent towards the tip. But in terms of detail, just compare the wings. You can see like there's a little bit of detail in the wings that's just not present with the other figure, the most recent Movie Monster Series figure I showed you. These wings are not as clean. You can kind of see like, I guess they call them stripes, or I don't know, not scars. You know what like? There's some lines there on the wings. Also in other areas too. Just those little details, like little wrinkles. I think that's the term. Wrinkles was a good way to describe them. That you don't see in the new Movie Monster Series release that came out. The newer one looks, and you can see right here, it just looks way more smoother, a bit more clean. God, you can see like the camera does not like the color red. I don't know if it's gonna show up in the final cut of this video, but like you can just tell cameras are notorious. The color red is notorious for not being a fun color to film. Here's a fun fact for you that's completely unrelated. If you did not know this, the reason why in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, the old like 2002, 2004, 2007 movies, the reason why his lines, his webbing on the suit were thick and gray and really popped out was because cameras could not really record the color red very well. It wouldn't look that good in the final product. So they added some extra detail to help when filming. There's your little fun fact for the day. The Rodan figures are fine though. I definitely prefer the earlier original Movie Monster Series version over the newer one. But if you don't have a Fire Rodan, the newest version will do just fine. It's still a pretty good piece for your collection. Here we're moving on to Mechagodzilla 2. Alright. Now this is a Super7 one. I've done a video on him already. You can go check that out. I'd unboxed him and all that. It's a very good figure. And definitely where Super7 really started to gain my trust. I'm very happy with this. I love all the added pieces you can add. I have him in his super mode. I know he's supposed to have like two of those. He came with two like little metal rods that come out of his wrist from the movie. I usually have those on, but for transportation and film and reason I took them off because it's a bit of a hassle. But yeah, this figure is very nice. I still don't have the head popped in all the way though, like, because I think I mentioned it in the video when I first recorded. It was kind of hard to push in, and I tried heating it up. It was still causing problems, but it sits fine. It just sits on my shelf and it holds well. So, but I really like this figure. Definitely one of the best from Super 7. Now, that being said, I don't know if I've ever said this. Mechagodzilla 2, not one of my favorite Mechagodzilla designs. In fact, I think it's probably my least favorite. He is probably one of the most powerful Mechagodzillas. He came pretty close to killing Godzilla until Fire Rodan got involved. Not that that's bad. I'm making it sound like I'm rooting for, you know, Godzilla to be killed here. You know, it was pretty interesting, but, you know, yeah, I'm lost for words. Okay, I'm losing brain cells. They're spilling all over the table. But yeah, it's just not one of my favorite Mechagodzilla designs, which is why I have multiple figures to show you today. That's how dedicated I am. No, but it's still good. I just don't know why. Maybe like the smooth, like, design of it. I don't know. The more rounded edges. That doesn't make sense. More rounded sides. I don't know. It's a unique design, and I appreciate it. It really differentiates itself from the other mechas in the series, but it's just not my personal favorite. It might be your favorite. That's okay. Make your own video. But for me, it's just not one of my favorites. Right here, though, we have the newest Movie Monster series version of it as well. Again, very clean looking. I'll give it that. It's very clean, very smooth. Bandai did a good job here. This figure is very small, though, and I think I mentioned that when I first unboxed it. It is a bit too small. I think this Mechagodzilla should either be the same size as the Godzilla he's facing, or even a little bit taller. Here's a super version, or I call it the super duper version, because of how messed up the beams are on his shoulders. Because it's soft vinyl, so in transportation, it was notorious for warping. And unfortunately, my figure did have some of that. It's an easy fix, sort of. I just haven't really bothered to do it because that's just me. I have other things to do. His tail, I just realized, is crooked. I think I can fix that maybe. I have to see. But yeah, you can see how warped they are. His cannons, his shoulder cannons. But it's okay. I'm still happy that they made this figure because I like when Mechagodzillas are like, they have their base design, but then they also have like attachable units. I mean, not like in figure form. Obviously, these are already attached besides the Super 7 version of it. But like Kiryu has like multiple like heavy artillery units that he has in different movies, which I think is cool. So imagine if the first Mechagodzilla from the 70s had something like this, like some kind of just backpack they could add on. I mean, he was already shooting a lot of shit out of his body. So imagine if he could shoot even more. That'd be awesome. So, but yeah, it's still happy with this design. They're about the same size. Just obviously because it's like the same mold, pretty much. We have to check that tail though. I don't know why mine's crooked. Oh, there it is. Okay. So get these Bandai Japan figures out of the way because we're talking about Bandai America. All right, this is the Bandai Creations, Bandai America, Mechagodzilla 2. Also, so calling it Mechagodzilla 2 is just so funny because, like, it's called Mechagodzilla 2, the movie. In America, at least, it's called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. But it's in the Heisei series, which has no connection to the Showa series. And what the fuck? I literally just noticed this while recording, or I've noticed it in the past and maybe just completely forgot about it. I bought this at a flea market years ago. And there's some kid's name is on there, like as if it's Andy's shoe or Woody's shoe with Andy's name on it. Some kid wrote over in Mechagodzilla's Gooch, they wrote his name. I couldn't really see what that name was, but if you recognize that handwriting, I have your figure, and I'm not giving it back because I paid $20 for this, which back then was a lot of money for this figure because it was only $8 when it came out, I'm pretty sure. So, but this is Bandai Creations, and this is like from the first or second wave of their releases in America, and it's a very good figure compared to some of the other early editions of Bandai Creations and just Bandai Creations in general, to be honest. This is a very nice figure from them, and I'm very happy to have it. And one of the things I really like about it is, as you can see here, it's a good height. It's tall. Alright, it's not a very short depiction of the character, or the kaiju, of the mech. They did a good job of making them nice and tall, which I like. Because if the mechs or the kaiju are tall in the movies, I feel like they should be tall in figure form, especially if you call it 6-inch scale, and not just make them super short. Alright, I've gone on this rant many times before. Destroya, Biollante, they all get the short treatment. King Ghidorah as well gets the short treatment. I'm happy Bandai Creations went ahead and made him a good size for other 6-inch figures. You know, and I think Bandai Creations, I'm doing some comparisons there that you can see on screen, between the Japanese and the Bandai Creations versions. Bandai Creations always kind of took some liberties with the design, and most of the time, they were perfectly fine. So, all right, get those out of the way now. So now we have to give Bandai Japan their props, okay? Because here we have the, is this 8-inch? This actually might be 10-inch version of Mechagodzilla 2. I just call it Mechagodzilla 93. Let's be more appropriate here. And this is figure, again, it's just very nice. Obviously, it's definitely tall because it's a completely different scaling than the 6-inch figures. But one unique thing about this, and you kind of notice with the paint job, it has like areas where it's almost like they airbrushed some black onto it in certain spots, which I think is really nice. It looks very good on the figure, and it has a little bit more articulation than the 6-inch ones. But yeah, it's very nice. The details for what they are, you know, again, these are very smooth design, but the figure still looks really good when it comes to details. And I do think that airbrushed black in those areas really helps it pop, add some contrast, which I like. Someone wrote their name right there too. Who is Bandai? Bandai, I have your figure. There's a joke for you. I hope you laughed. Jeez. And I was going to say this earlier while we were looking at Bandai Creations. I think they definitely deserve some props back in the day when they were making figures, because not all the time, but like their Destroya, their Hedorah, their Mechagodzilla that I just showed. I'm sure maybe there were other ones. They made them good sizes for being in 6-inch scale. You know, their Destroya is one of my favorite, and you'll see that in an upcoming video. So I'm very happy, and I just want to give some quick props to Bandai Creations. May they rest in peace. They're still around, kind of, and they just don't do Godzilla anymore for some reason. So anyway, guys, that's all for today's video. All these figures are pretty great. Even the Movie Monster series Rodan and the super duper warped Mechagodzilla. But they all deserve their props. They're good figures. Definitely recommend them. The ones you can still find if you really want to splurge on some of the older figures. That's you. Do as you please. Okay, you won't be disappointed. Hopefully, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Maybe you will get it and you'll be disappointed. Don't come blaming me. Okay, just return it. Anyway, that's all for today's video. If you want to reach out to me, my Instagram is down below. I honestly have no idea what my next video is because I have like 2 ideas that I'm going back and forth on, but we'll see. Anyway, that's all for today. I hope you all take care, and I'll see you all next time.